This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
First tonight, a weather alert. We have some gusty winds and rain in the region. We're talking wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour, rain that has slowed the evening commute as well. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. We have 2 reports tonight. We begin with Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell.
All right, we are tracking that rain across the area right now, and we are in a weather alert through the evening hours, not only dealing with the rain, but ahead of it, before that rain starts, we've had winds gusting above 40 miles per hour in some cases. So that's something to deal with. And yes, of course, the wet roads moving in just in time for the evening rush hour. The rain has made it into Arnold right now. That's a live view from our weather camera. And you look at this radar, it's really come to life around St. Louis and now starting to spread into the Metro East. Some of the heavier rain is right through the heart of the Metro at this point, sliding in through South St. Louis, up into North St. Louis, even into North County, along 270, Chain of Rocks Bridge, back towards the airport. It is slow, and then you look down into South City, down 55 through Limay and Melville, and all the way down Arnold towards Imperial. You have some waterlogged roads at this point. This heavier band of rain will shift east. We're really looking at about a 3 to 5 hour period where it's fairly steady once it moves in your neighborhood, and that means most of us will see an inch or more of rainfall. Some areas have already seen a couple of inches, so it's a solid shield of evening rain. The gusty winds are mainly ahead of the rain. That wind advisory will be expiring here in a little bit, and then cold air comes in. We may be below freezing in spots Wednesday morning and Thursday morning.
Neighbors say strong winds are to blame for a brick wall and chimney collapse at a vacant building in South St. Louis. It happened this afternoon on Missouri Avenue in Benton Park. A man who lives across the street heard the bricks come tumbling down.
The wall collapsed and the bricks fell into the sidewalk into the street. Totally could have killed someone that was walking down the sidewalk.
Neighbors say the building has been condemned for a while and was damaged by a fire in January, but no official cause for the collapse has been given.
5 on your side, Tracy Hinton continues our team coverage in the storm tracker. She's been following the rain all afternoon. Tracy.
All right, so we're in St. Louis now, just coming up on the 170 exit here. And as cars pass by us, you're gonna see that spray that's coming off the cars. That's really reducing visibility. We have seen some on and off ramps as well that just have a good amount of water in them, and it's creating for some slick conditions out there. We have seen 2 cars off on the side of the road, one that was definitely a slide off, and just goes to show you that the conditions are a little bit trickier tonight. Now, I did check in with Ameren about how they were doing with those stronger winds out there and if we need to be concerned about outages overnight.
Day to day, as long as the wind stays 30 miles an hour or less, it has virtually no impact on operations.
But today was not that day.
When it starts gusting up close to 50 miles an hour, that we have to start paying attention to what's happening.
Looking for isolated issues.
On a day like today, we don't expect a lot of widespread outages, but what does happen is the wind starts blowing trees into our lines. And that's where when we get damage on a day like today, that's where most of that damage comes from, is from trees.
But even so, the trees are in a good stage for windstorms.
The trees haven't leafed out yet, so for the next couple of weeks we should be okay. You don't see as much tree damage as you will, say, the middle of April to the 1st of May, when you actually have a lot of leaves on the trees.
Those leaves act like sails and only amplify the wind. Blustery conditions are hazardous for trees and the linemen tasked with repairing damage from them.
They're up in the air, so the wind's blowing harder up where they are than it is here on the ground. And so stuff's moving around, the wire they're trying to catch is moving around, the pole's moving around.
All normal and all in a day's work.
And it's not a big deal for them for the most part.
New infrastructure has helped too.
Those composite poles are about 5 times stronger than a standard wood pole. And the good thing about those, and we've actually done tests, is that pole will bend like a fishing rod 15 or more feet before it actually breaks.
I don't think any of us want to see that, but it does mean that those newer poles mean less outages for us. In the Storm Tracker, I'm Tracy Hinson, 5 on your side.
Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey says he plans to investigate the Hazelwood School District. He wants to know if the district's diversity, equity, and inclusion programs somehow contributed to the violent attack that injured 16-year-old Kaylee Gain. She's been moved out of the ICU and is stable after suffering a severe injury to her head. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, set out to verify a number of the claims in the Attorney General's letter. Mark?
And Mike, other news outlets have already reported that the Attorney General got basic facts wrong, like the date, the time of day, the location where that violent attack occurred. But when we took a closer look, we found several other false and misleading claims woven into Bailey's threat to investigate Hazelwood schools. This letter from Attorney General Andrew Bailey to Hazelwood schools starts out saying 2 weeks ago on March 11, but that's false. The incident happened on Friday, March 8. Then he says student Kaylee Gain was viciously assaulted during the middle of the school day. That's also false. The attack happened after school was over. Bailey claimed Hazelwood removed uniformed police officers from its schools when St. Louis County Police told us ultimately that decision was the chief's decision. According to Hazelwood Police, school resource officers have already been back in Hazelwood West after an agreement was unanimously approved by the Hazelwood City Council. Then, Bailey said to date, SROs are still not present in Hazelwood East schools, but this video appears to undermine that claim from inside the school the day before the attack, appearing to show a school resource officer wearing handcuffs. Bailey also said the entire community deserves answers on how Hazelwood's radical diversity, equity, and inclusion programs resulted in such despicable safety failures. St. Louis County Police said, "We're not seeing any kind of racial motivation in this fight." Hazelwood East alum Wesley Bell is the prosecutor whose office could take over this case currently in juvenile court.
So it is disappointing to see people weaponize and politicize everything, particularly when we know about past discrimination and current discrimination in this country.
Bailey also claimed, quote, not a single school resource officer was on the scene to protect Miss Gain or restore order, but that's misleading at best. There wouldn't be a school resource officer so far off campus where the fight happened. Bailey also taking political heat from Congresswoman Cori Bush tonight, who called Bailey's threats, quote, reprehensible, irresponsible, and dangerous. And she said it further harms a community affected by the devastating incidents this past month. Bush said Bailey's, quote, fabricating truths and carelessly neglecting facts undermines his responsibilities to uphold safety and security.
Missouri Central School Bus announced layoffs today after failing to reach a contract agreement with St. Louis Public Schools. That contract ends in July. The company will close its Spring and Hall Street locations starting in May. The move will cost about 332 full and part-time employees their jobs. The district just released a statement which reads in part, St. Louis Public Schools will release a request for proposals this week for a new vendor to provide service. It is our hope to provide a stable and equitable work environment for the drivers currently working for Missouri Central. We want them to continue to transport our students.
Coming up, crime concerns in Belleville. The business owners concerned about their bottom line.
Plus, the push for safer streets in St. Louis. The bill's moving through the Board of Aldermen.